It's a lovely day. It's fucking raining. There's thunder. I'm gonna be doing something I never thought I'd be doing. Not in a million fucking years. Never in a million fucking years. You wanna know one of the things in the 2016 election that almost made me vote for Jill Stein, despite my state being a swing state? Her Syrian policy. The fact that it was very interventionist. The fact that she wanted to be going to war with Russia and Syria. I knew that that type of policy would be disastrous. I consider myself a non-interventionist. We are in 8 different fucking countries. We are at war with 8 fucking countries right now. We have men and women fighting, dying, getting their limbs blown off, getting PTSD, getting all this shit happening to them. And now, war with Russia could happen. War with fucking Russia. Not Cold War with Russia, not little wars that we go in, we attack whoever their ally is, but we don't have direct contact. Do these neoliberals who keep pushing the whole Trump has connections with Russia agenda realize that Russia and the US are both nuclear-armed superpowers who, if given the right fucking dominoes, could blow each other the fuck up? You know, we had leaders and presidents like John F. Kennedy who prevented shit like that, who talked with Russia, who had negotiations with Russia, who talked endless and endless and endless hours to form some type of temporary peace with Russia. You know, we had leaders like that, and then Obama recently wanted to work with Russia before he was out of office, was working with Putin. Yeah, you heard that right. Barack Obama was trying to work with Putin to deter ISIS. That was Obama's policy. So, if you have some type of financial connections, business connections with the Russians, and you're the president, why would you bomb the shit out of your ally, as Donald Trump did in Syria a few months ago? I just watched the Tim Black report, Tim Black show, I mean, and great fucking job, neoliberals. Great fucking job, you fucking pieces of shit. We gotta go to war with Russia. Russia hacked our election. Russia hacked our election. Newsflash, we hacked Russia's election in the 90s. So even if we did hack even if they hacked our election, maybe it's fucking even. You know, like, people don't like an American saying that shit. And I'm not a Trump supporter by any means. You know my channel, you know I hate that man with every fiber in my being. But the one thing I was okay with was some type of stability and peace with Putin and Russia as a nation. You know, Ron Paul, who I have my issues with. But when it comes to non-interventionism, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He said Russia should be our ally. You know what? He's fucking right. Well, Putin kills journalists. How many other douchebags have we allied ourselves with? oh, you're making the arguments of Trump, and you're making Trump's arguments. We're live in Saudi Arabia. Well, Darth, aren't you a registered Democrat? Yeah, I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm a registered Democrat with a fucking brain and a fair bit of skepticism. I don't like Putin. He is an asshole. But I don't want World War III in my lifetime. My parents' generation had several moments that could have been World War III. And yet we were able to move away from it. Somehow. Yes, the Soviet Union collapsed. But does anyone remember this clip from the 2012 debates when Obama said this?
Governor Romney, I'm glad that you recognize that Al-Qaeda is a threat. Because a few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not Al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because the Cold War has been over for 20 years. But, Governor, when it comes to our foreign policy, you seem to want to import the foreign policies of the 1980s, just like the social policies of the 1950s and the economic policies of the 1920s. You say that you're not interested in duplicating what happened in Iraq, but just a few weeks ago you said you think we should have more troops in Iraq right now. And the challenge we have, I know you haven't been in a position to actually execute foreign policy, but every time you've offered an opinion, you've been wrong. You said we should have gone into Iraq, despite the fact that there were no weapons of mass destruction. You said that we should still have troops in Iraq to this day. You indicated that we shouldn't be passing nuclear treaties with Russia, despite the fact that 71 senators, Democrats and Republicans, voted for it. You've said that first we should not have a timeline in Afghanistan, then you said we should, now you say maybe, or it depends, which means not only were you wrong, but you were also confusing and sending mixed messages both to our troops and our allies. So what we need to do with respect to the Middle East is strong, steady leadership, not wrong and reckless leadership that is all over the map.
And now the Democrats have done a complete 180 from arguably one of Obama's best and most honest moments. Obama seemed to be interested in some relations with Russia, interested in some type of peace with Russia. And now Trump, I know people are going to be like, well, Trump might have business ties. Trump might have business ties. If you have business ties in a foreign government and you're president, you don't blow the shit out of them. You just don't do it. I mean, it's like if I'm Trump, okay? Well, first of all, I'd be completely different. I'd be left-wing as shit. I wouldn't have bombed Syria in the first place. I would have stuck with my predecessor's original plan and vision for Syria. And I would have definitely steered clear of what my opponent was saying, which is Hillary Clinton, who, yes, was the more war hawkish at points, although Trump was also a war hawk, so you gotta be real there. I wasn't surprised when Trump attacked Syria due to him saying we're going to bomb the shit out of them, meaning ISIS. And he had a suicide mission that he authorized where an American soldier died and an 8-year-old girl was killed by our guys. I swear to God, man, people are going to be like, if you say, but Hillary would have done this, doesn't it kind of look like Trump is going with Hillary's Syrian plan? Doesn't it look like that? Okay. The likelihood of the President of the United States watching this fucking video and making it through this part is like in the negative 1,000s. In like negative 1,000, maybe negative up like sextillion or some shit. But I want to make a plea to Donald Trump. Fuck it, I'm gonna make a plea to Donald Trump. I'm a 21-year-old American. I love my country. I love the ideals of my country. And I hate the wars that we have been in since as long as I can remember. As long as I could, like, fathom the idea of war. In my lifetime, we've been at war. I knew, like, students, like kids in my elementary school who had parents overseas in Iraq. And I always knew Iraq was bullshit. And Afghanistan was bullshit. And then Obama fucking increased, like, deployed more troops in Afghanistan. Then in Pakistan, he fucking, like, did his drone war, which Trump is obviously going to continue. It's like, where's the plea come in? Talk with Putin. But aren't you a liberal? Aren't you a Democrat? I don't. You know what? Yeah, I'm a Democrat. But I'm a Democrat that prefers not to hear the following. All able-bodied men and women shall go to a draft. Shall be drafted immediately for war with Russia, which could end in nuclear fallout. I never thought in my lifetime I would ever think nuclear fallout was a real possibility until now. We live in a political climate, regardless of it, this is the only time where regardless of Hillary or Trump, we would have been fucked. If you're a goddamn interventionist and you see the world as a fucking chessboard, you're gonna go to war with someone. So I guess what I'm saying is, talk to Putin, invite him into the White House, or call him and just show me your biggest critic, your hater, your biggest doubter, that the negotiator, the great negotiator that is Donald Trump, is a complete bullshit. Because if you are this grand, great negotiator, you can negotiate a peaceful strategy where we will not have World War III. Every single American, Russian citizen of the world, every citizen of the world is dependent upon the President of the United States calling Prime Minister Putin and negotiating something with Syria. I would suggest continuing Obama's plan of working with Russia. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm too optimistic. You know what? I read too much. I've never been in a fucking war. And I would never want to be drafted to a fucking war. Because I know myself well enough to know that I would fucking break if I were ever put in a war scenario. I am a man of peace. I am a man who believes in peaceful, nonviolent negotiation. I've never picked up a fucking gun in my life. So I'm asking the President of the United States, begging him even, continue your predecessor's strategy of working with Russia to take out ISIS. Assad, sadly, is the lesser of two evils. And you were the one who said, I was always against the war in Iraq. And I always thought Iraq was a terrible idea. And we should have kept Saddam. You said that in a debate. You said that shit while you were debating during the primaries. Practice what you preach. In this case. Practice what you freaking preach. Practice what you fucking preach, man. You're going to have to work with Putin to keep Assad in power and let the Syrian people decide their own fate and their own destiny. No more regime change. No more nation building. No more violent intervention. No more taking out the lesser evil to allow the greater evil to take fold and warp that country and slaughter its civilians. Enough. And this could be the tipping point. Barack Obama was smart enough to know that in this scenario, Russia was an ally. President Trump, with your favorable view of President Putin, at least in rhetoric, you can't attack him. You can't not take this opportunity to negotiate. We've had enough war. I've had enough war. Live long and prosper and have a nice day.